to this mime. He was a talking mime on TikTok. It was like this little TikTok reel, and he started making gay jokes. He's like, "Oh, I know you guys aren't laughing, but I'm queer." So, and then everybody started laughing. I'm like, "Why does he have to do that? Why can't you just make a gay joke, regardless of your sexual preference? And just if it's funny, it's funny. You know, make straight jokes. You know, it's just comedy."
You know what the one thing for me, like at the end of 8 Mile, you know that movie?
Yeah.
At the very end, he goes first, and he just self-deprecates the entire thing.
Yeah, he does.
So then he just leaves that guy speechless. Like, the guy literally had nothing else to say.
Got nothing.
Because he fucking hit everything.
But your name is Cletus or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what makes, I think, comedy so great is comedians can make fun of themselves and then make fun of everybody else. And I think if they start off with making fun of themselves, like Shane Gillis.
I fucking love him.
Dude, he's so funny because he self-deprecates the entire show. And in his self-deprecation...
He's all about a gay joke. I love it.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, I saw a Saturday Night Live skit, and then he's just like, you know...
I loved it.
He said something like, and I don't like using this word, but he's like, you know, retard's got it going on. And don't worry, I've got it. Someone in my family with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
He's like, but they don't have a worry in the world. Like, here we are, just like normal adulting, and then there goes someone with Down syndrome, just like, oh, I love life.
Just fucking skipping through life.
Yeah, and then he's just like, yep, I'm not coming back on this show.
Have you ever seen his face when he makes it look like he's got Down syndrome?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
There's a couple of memes out there now with his face. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's been wild, this culture shift of political correctness. You know, you can't just be funny anymore. You can't just tease a guy at work.
Yeah, you really can't.
I don't know how many times I've gone to HR, I've had an investigation just because I'm just like, hey guys, stop finger popping your assholes. Let's get to work.
So they called you in?
Yeah, they called me in for that one.
Talking about your asshole popping?
Yeah, because they're just sitting around, and that's what I say. Hey, quit finger popping your assholes and let's get to work. Right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, being in the military and then Midwest, you know, I've said the word gay about everything. Someone's like, I won $1 million on the lottery. I'm like, well, that's gay.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
You know,
that used to be a
thing.
An umbrella term.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
know?
then I at work, sometimes someone will say something, and I said, oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, gay. What's up? And then they went to HR. It's like, he called me gay. I'm like, I didn't call him gay. I just said it.
Gay means happy.
Yeah.
You're not happy?
Like, it's
Jeez.
just, it's so weird, but well, that sucks that, you know, some of the things that we say people take too seriously. But I think that it's funny because it's true a lot of the time.
Well, and that's the thing, is making light of a situation is basically comedy, and I mean, it is true.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, like, a lot of the stuff we say, or a lot of the things that are said in any stand-up, they're pointing out the obvious. We all know it.
Yeah,
but they're actually the ones ballsy enough to say it.
Right. Yeah, and you know, like, and I think me and you agree, like, some of the pictures on these dating websites, like, if it's just the neck and there's no down, it's like, okay, whale. You know, Shamu just escaped from the right.
Shamu got a tender,
and you know what? I'm not body shaming. It's not my type. I'll tell you that. In fact, I would probably call that a catfish.
Yeah.
In my mind, if I showed up to a date, because I mean, you're very pretty.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, it's okay to not be attracted to bigger women, and if you don't show or say, because I have talked to many girls, like, through dating apps, and they're like, hey, I just want you to know I'm a thicker girl.
I'm a thicker girl.
And
you're just like, that's fine, let's slap those cheeks.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, that's great, awesome. And you know, they're saying that because
they have an
so they don't waste their fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sorry, I'm not really attracted to that. Glad you told me. Thanks. Have a good day.
Yeah. I mean, and let's just think, as you were saying that, I'm trying to think about if that question was approached to me, how I would handle it, because I would say...
that is a good... Yeah. How would you handle that?
Like, so I'd be like, hey, well, thanks for sharing. Like, I would then be like, well, I don't find bigger women attractive, but I've had a good conversation with you, so I think let's see where it goes. I do think so, but I do think that there is a max thickness that I could go.
Max thickness.
Because we were walking around, my work had the BMX Worlds this whole week, and I was walking around with some guys, and they're just like, Eric, and I'd be like, oh man, that's too big for me. And they're like, and they would look at me like, man, you crazy. And then I would say, hey, that's about as thick as I go. So then they're like, man, she's like skinny. I'm like, no, that's not skin. Like,
yeah, man, that's great. My cousin's the exact same way.
Yeah, and I mean, and then they're like, and then they would point out like a stick. I'm like, oh no, I'd break her in half. Like that's not fun. I'm not looking for.
What the fuck do you like?
Yeah, right. I'm not looking for like a twig. A nice little oak tree. A nice.
I'm not into thick girls, but I heard they do more things.
They could.
I fucked that up.
They could. So yeah, I did unlock a new kind of ick if I see on a dating profile,
oh boy, here
and
we
I
go.
took a screenshot. So let's open this up. So I found this one, and I didn't send it to you because I thought it was funny. Oh yeah, I did. I'll do two of these. So this one, I just screenshotted it. Never matched because it was an ick. So it goes. Open to meeting new people, but not 100% sure how I feel about my dating goals. Would I like to find my forever partner and best friend? Absolutely. Do I think that's going to happen via Bumble? ? I'm empathetic and intuitive. I read people well. Fair warning. I'm like, oh my gosh. One thing, so you're already a negative Nancy about this dating app, right? You're just like, do I think I'm going to find my forever person on here? No. Well, then why are you on it?
Right.
Why are you
what
on
are you
it?
doing?
Yeah.
You're looking for your forever, but...
Yeah. And then I'm empathetic and intuitive. I read people well. That's the new ick. I read people well. I understand that there are people that can read people well, okay? But I don't call it reading people well. I think that people have... Because how do you know? How do you know what that person's thinking or doing and if they're genuine? Because a lot of people are good actors, right? So you're not reading them.
Right.
Because they're giving you all that they want you to read. And I think she's opening herself up for that guy. That guy that's like, okay, he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. He's got the best riz, all this stuff.
It's almost like she's just setting herself up for failure.
She is. That's what I think. It's like, listen, you can get a sense of somebody's energy.
Bet you're liking that breeze right now.
Oh yeah, man, this shirt's about to come off. I've made a really bad decision today. Pants and a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, I thought it was winter when you walked up.
Seriously, I'm tapping the sweat here. So. Anyways, yeah, so that was a big ick for me. I don't like when people say that they read people because I don't think anybody could read people well. I think that they could sense when someone's bullshitting or putting on a face, but that's not reading them. It's just like,
Is reading somebody the same as having a good judge of character?
No, I think somebody could have a good judge of character, but reading somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's like saying you're an empath.
I don't know. I don't know. I've always felt that I could read people pretty well.
I think we're just using different language. Like I'm using it very literally. Like you could read me. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna put on my best Brad Pitt. Like I'm gonna just be Lieutenant Aldo Rane from Inglourious Bastards, and you won't pick it up. But you're gonna assume that I'm this.
So you're saying Nazis. If I were to first meet you. You're just putting on a facade.
I mean, you could. Yeah, if you said that. But then that person's a piece of shit for doing that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not accurate. But if you're your true self, then you're gonna.
Yeah. So I see it that way. I wouldn't call that reading. I would just you have a good judge of character. So like the intuitive part. If she would have said I'm very intuitive with what I want. Like if she's like I'm intuitive, I know what I want. So like don't waste my time type thing. Then I'd be like, hey, cool. She's intuitive. She knows exactly if she's feeling this or not instead of I read people because I think she's setting herself up for a problem and she'll never find someone because she might be on guard the entire time. All the time because she's so good at reading people that you put on this like guard right here.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Shit.
Wow.
felt like a baby. Like, oh.
That was
like, what?
awesome.
Yeah.
Stop.
So then I think I screenshotted this. I actually replied to this one. So this comes from a Hinge one, and she's like, my most controversial opinion is no man is actually 5'11". And
I remember you.
Yeah, and I said this to you, but I wanted to share. I said, if height is important, can a man have a weight standard for women? Because one can control weight, or one can control their weight, but one cannot control their height. She never replied. Never replied. I don't blame her.
When I saw your typo, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. And then I even said it to you. I'm like, oh, I had a typo.
Yeah.
So even like reading it, I read it like an idiot because. But I was like so excited. I'm like, yes, I got one.
Finally,
I got one. I got one that I could try to debate with on this. Because there's this thing going around on TikTok. Like she's like, I'm looking for a man in finance. 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes. And now everybody's just like, wow, there's like maybe 18 men in the world.
So you're looking for Hitler?
Yeah. But it all goes down to standards. I do think that the height thing with men is a big deal right now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Like so we always, like if I'm the one that got a guest or you or whatever, we always say, hey, what's her Facebook, or you got a picture or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and we do that because we have no clue who we're meeting.
Right.
But by seeing that picture, it kind of gives you an idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of what I mean by reading people is it's like I can see somebody's face and almost know what type of person they're going to be.
That's you. I just want to know if they're hot or not. Hey,
and you're it's because of the age. I was going to say you're the one with the lower standards, but it's because of the age gap.
Age gap, yeah. No, okay, so I agree with you there. I mean, you kind of get a face like, oh, this. I think we make a judgment call right then and there when we see that face.
Right.
We judge.
It's first sort of like judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, judging a book by its cover. Like you send a picture, I'm like, oh, man, I'm not going to have fun with that one. And then turns out it's like the best interview we've ever had.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I'll give you that one. You win.
It just randomly came out of mind, like, because I literally just did that a minute ago, and I was like,
you wanted to see our guest, who's on her way. That's why we're doing a little promos right now.
Yeah.
And so she's my barber. Oh man, I'm so excited. We've been trying to get this going for a while. Like every time I sit in the chair, this is free therapy for me when I go to the barber, and all we do is talk about the show.
I'm gonna raise my hand here because this is gonna be like a clipping point. We're currently waiting on your barber. Tell us a little about what you know about her or anything like that.
Yeah, so I know that she has been divorced twice. She's got kids.
How old is she, do you know?
She's my age, 36, 37.
Okay.
Goes by AO, name's Amanda. Cuts my hair. I mean, look at how great this is. This is her artwork.
Looks good.
Yeah. Super funny. I think she is in a relationship right now, but she's always had, like, she's been on dating apps. She's given me some advice, actually. Like, I've told her about like that Top Golf thing, and then when I told her that, hey, I went back to that chick and it still didn't work out, she was like, well, I could have told you that. So like she lets me have it, and then she gives me opinions on guests. She's like, oh, I don't like this person. Like, oh, that was a hard one to listen to.
Speaking, this is random as this isn't even on the subject. I just remembered that I had a screenshot I wanted to share with you, back to like the first impressions and shit.
Nice,
but yeah. Looking for an honest woman.
I bet you are.
Why the fuck would you? And I'll post that picture like a little.
Did you see the comment? You need a caregiver. Oh, she slayed him, dude.
Holy shit, that is awesome.
Yeah, look at that comment. You need a caregiver. Oh my gosh,
I didn't even see that.
Oh man. Oh, that just made my day. Now the shirt has to come off.
You need a caregiver. Damn, that's great.
We should. Maybe I should do it. Need an honest woman. Take my shirt off right next to him.
Yeah.
before and after. Like, ladies, this is what I am now. This is gonna be me in like 20 years. Needing. Oh man.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't see the caregiver part
Look at
because that
me.
made it so much more funny.
Look at me just reading, just like
Yeah,
I need
I'm just looking at the guy in
Yeah,
his
you're
fucking
looking at the guy.
underwear.
he's in his underwear, and he's got like huge lat flaps.
Yeah.
Like you can see he used to work out, and then he let himself go because his laterals are like bat wings, dude.
Oh yeah. He wouldn't have any trouble falling out of a plane.
Yeah, right. It's almost like when Vikings used to blood
He's
eagle.
even got flaps in his crotch, like
Oh, gosh.
on the outsides of his.
I didn't even look. I just looked at the
yeah.
need a caregiver.
I read people by looking at them. You read people by the comments.
The comments, yeah.
You need a caregiver.
Yeah.
Man, that is great.
That is an epic. Like at that time, you can't even like give another comeback. Like,
no, you win.
yeah, you win. Like I'm
You
gonna
win.
delete this post. Oh man, that was epic. That was a good laugh. Like
yeah.
my cheekbones hurt. That's how
Dude,
funny it was.
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I don't know how we're gonna top that one.
Yeah.
That's been the student state.
That's it. We don't even need your guess now.
Yeah, no. She's gonna be funny. I'm hoping that she's got some crazy stories because she's like, oh, let me tell you, and like she has a lot. She hasn't shared any with me. I'm like, just save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
Is she shy at all or anything?
No, God, no. If she's shy today, that would be the first time I've ever seen her shy. But yeah, Jewish.
Jewish. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, so she's a Jew.
I'm not up on my Jew jokes, but I can.
Yeah, she might be okay with that. I'm sure she will.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine.
I hope she's. We honestly, I feel like we're gonna have to start putting a
Disclaimer, explicit.
Listener discretion advised
I agree.
at the beginning or something.
I agree. And then hey, we do have that June 1st one.
Oh yeah,
I just made the promo for that.
that was the.
So it's going to be dating. She is a TikToker, social media influencer. Her name is Samantha. Her handle's Sam's. June 1st. The topic is dating. Dating as a Christian in a post-Christian world, in a post-Christian dating world.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm really gonna like that episode.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to make some questions with, specifically for her to answer on her topics of, dating as a Christian, what she's looking for. She made a TikTok today, like, making fun of that. I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund. She's like, I'm looking for a man who loves Jesus and all this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, that's my first question. Like, me as a philosophical Christian, I'm an educated person in that field. And I've been married to I've been married to one self-proclaimed Christian, and I dated another self-proclaimed Christian, both of them in which, wow. Both of them.
That could be us, but we're here.
Yeah. Both of them which both hurt me in many, many ways, and didn't live up to the standard, but they still today both say that they love Jesus. So my first question is, how do you know? How do you know when someone really loves Jesus?
I don't think anyone can know if anybody truly loves Jesus.
Right, but exactly. That's the mystery question. So, like her question, I'm just looking for a man who loves Jesus. Well, how do you know they do? Because it goes back to the whole I read people well. Anybody could put on the I love Jesus face.
Do you believe, like, I know there's faith, but is there any, like, physical, like, actual proof that Jesus or God is real, like the Bible's real, like is there anything that real, or we just have faith in what's been written and that's what we follow?
I need to ask you a question before.
What's she drive?
I don't know. I felt like
looked
that
like
was
a slow car. Yeah.
I need to ask you a question before I answer that question.
All right.
And I just need to know how to answer it, because what kind of proof are you looking for? Because as soon as you have that answer, I could give you my answer.
I'm not necessarily looking for me, okay, like it's like I believe I mean, something, someone, or whatever created all of this.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, like, there has to be something, whether it be God or
Nature.
Charles the janitor, whatever, you know, like, there's got to be something. But, like, if I could have, like, physical proof or something that would tell me, okay, this is what, because if I had that, then I would, like, that would fully bring me to another side of things, you know, like.
Yeah. So I always say that creation, just life on planet Earth itself, proves an existence of a God. Because I fall under what's called intelligent design. Like, you know, if the world was on a different Y or X axis of like a tenth of a millimeter, we'd either burn to death or freeze to death. We're the only known life right now.
Well, you know how accurate the pyramids are and all that, right? Like,
Sure.
all the math that goes into that, and it equals this and whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
so
like,
it takes something very intelligent to do the pyramids. So something even greater. This is where I get into. I wrote a paper on this guy. He was an English.
was that her, by the way?
I don't know, I don't know. He was an
Sorry.
English archbishop by the name of Anselm, and he came up with an ontological argument that said nothing is greater that cannot be known. Meaning that if you could think of anything greater than God, then that is God. So think of God and the definition of God, and nothing, and it should be all greatness. Well, you can't think of anything greater than that. So to me, that's a pretty compelling argument. Like, well, what created the earth and the galaxies and all this stuff? Well, it must be an intelligent deity, an intelligent mind, to wherefore I accredit that to God. Now, when you want proof of, you know, Jesus, who claimed to be God incarnate, I think you've got to have a lot of faith there, and you also have to look at, you know, the manuscript evidence. What did he do? Look at the miracles. It's hard to convict murder when you don't have a body, and we don't have Jesus's body. And there's all these conspiracy theories, like, oh, they